Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Xiaoming Bao, and you can call me Egg. And today I'm here to present our research on the topic Divide and Rule Employment Strategies of Chinese Suppliers in Supply Chain Relocation. This research is grounded in significant recent developments. The US-China trade friction and the COVID-19 pandemic have diminished China's integration into global supply chains. Supply chain relocation has introduced the social challenges within China, exemplified by the 2023 strike at the Qiang Viet garment factory. And this factory has the clients included Adidas. These clients began relocating production from China to Vietnam in 2022. Facing reduced overseas orders, the factory responded with wage cuts and layoffs, leading to a 4-day strike. Here we see a photo of the strike site. This research aims to answer three central questions. First, what is the impact of supply chain relocation on Chinese supplier employment relations? Second, to what extent do power relations between suppliers and lead firms influence this impact, particularly across different forms of supply chain governance? And the third is the observed impact uniform across all worker groups. Our case study centers on China Leisure, which has been anonymized. And it is a top-tier Chinese manufacturer and exporter of outdoor leisure products. We conducted 4 rounds of fieldwork: March 2021, May 2022, July 2023, and May 2024, during which we interviewed managers in charge of
Sorry, I'll just
market.
interrupt you 1 second. We don't see your slides changing.
Okay.
We just see the first one. Maybe if you put it in presentation mode.
Okay.
Ah, yes, we see it now.
Okay, maybe I can just leave in this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, and let me repeat a little bit. In the 4 rounds of field work, we interviewed managers in charge of marketing, finance, human resources, and production, as well as diverse worker groups. Using global sampling, we engaged 59 participants in semi-structured interviews, complemented by participants' observations and document analysis. We analyzed this data thematically. We use the thematic analysis to analyze the data. China Leisure is one of China's top outdoor leisure product manufacturers and exporters. Since 2013, it has focused on exporting to Western Europe and North America. It is a private company with a good financial status. In 2023, it had annual sales of more than 21 million US dollars. It produced seasonal products. Its high production season is from October to March every year. Its label demand varies a lot between the low and high seasons. During the low season, it employs nearly 400 people. During the high season, especially around the Chinese New Year, it employs about 1,000 people. Its workers are middle-aged people with a secondary education from nearby towns. They usually work with their spouses. And here are the photos of the workshop. Okay. And China Leisure is in the middle of the outdoor leisure products global value chains. The upstream is raw material suppliers, and the downstream is furniture retailers. Outdoor leisure products value chains are moving from China to Southeast and Southern Asian countries. As the major customer, Ashley was already changing its China sourcing and manufacturing strategies in the early stages of the US-China trade conflict, moving its supply chains from China to Vietnam. Fewer orders from abroad have made it harder for China leisure to keep employees. Wages have gone down and there are more job insecurities. Outdoor leisure products value chains feature the so-called relational governance between suppliers and lead firms. Relational governance tasks are complex and difficult to be codified or write down. Suppliers have better capacities, but so lead firms outsource to get these capacities. Suppliers and lead firms must work closely together to share knowledge. Ashley's supply chain relocation is gradual. Vietnam is the main destination for its supply chain relocation. Sorry. Vietnam has lots of young workers, but not enough skilled workers or managers. Another challenge is that Vietnam's business support facilities and service systems are not very good. Vietnamese companies are not yet as efficient as their Chinese counterparts. In the short term, Southeast and Southern Asian countries cannot fully replace China in the outdoor leisure industry. So the high asset specificity allows the China leader to adapt its business strategy gradually. For example, it has shifted to an order first pricing strategy. In 2023, Costco planned to stop ordering from China Leisure. Eventually, China Leisure won the orders, but Costco lowered the unit price from 20 US dollars in 2022 to 12 US dollars in 2023. China Leisure still wanted to stay on Costco's supplier list. Okay, I will skip to this one. And the China Leisure employees can be grouped into four categories. Okay. Based on their location in the value chain, and the labor market. The first category is employees who have advantages in both the value chain and the labor market. The activities of managers are important for China leisure to stay in outdoor leisure products value chains. This is especially true during supply chain relocation. For example, in the above-mentioned business negotiations with Costco, China Leisure had to reduce production costs to meet the price offered by Costco. The president negotiated with suppliers to reduce the price of raw materials. The finance, human resources, and production managers calculated labor costs and achieved a 10% reduction. The production directors had to make sure that everyone got a fair share of work and that everything ran smoothly so that products would be delivered on time. Furthermore, managers are rare in the labor market since they have a high level of education. The second category is employees who only have an advantage in the labor market. In China leisure, these workers are called skilled workers. For example, right-hand weaving takes at least 1 year to learn. What is right-hand weaving? This is a photo. Here is a photo of right-hand weaving workers. Therefore, skilled workers are not so many in the labor market. During the high season, China leisure needs more than 100 workers for right-hand weaving. However, during the no season, China leisure's labor demand for such a worker is less than 10 people. The third category is employees who have disadvantages in both the value chain and the labor market. In China leisure, these workers are called general workers. General workers have little education or capacities. Furthermore, China leisure needs fewer general workers during the low season than during the high season. The final category is employees who only have an advantage in the value chain. In China leisure, these workers are called key workers. The activities of key workers are important for China leisure to keep production orders. Riveting is an important production for almost all products. Here is the photo for riveting workers. If riveting workers don't work well, some assembly lines will slow down or even stop. During the low season, keeping key workers on the job is important to keep production running. However, key workers are not more educated or capable than other workers on the same assembly lines. China Leisure has different ways of managing its employees. Firstly, China Leisure signs employment contracts with managers, establish the so-called formal employment, pay them fixed wages, provides them with social insurance in line with the labor law. Secondly, China Leisure use labor contractors, that is labor outsourcing, for skilled workers. For example, rattan weaving workers mainly come from Sichuan and Hunan provinces. During the high season, the labor contractors supply rattan weaving workers to China Leisure. After the season ends, the labor contractors send rattan weaving workers home or to other companies. Thirdly, China Leisure has different types of employment contracts with general workers, but it actually has an employment at will policy. So that means that the products market decides who works well. When orders increase, piecework volumes and piece rates increase, so general workers come to China Leisure to apply for jobs. When orders drop, piecework jobs and workers leave China Leisure. Finally, China Leisure offers formal employment to key workers, establishing the so-called rewarding formal employment. Key workers are usually trained and promoted from general workers. Both the company and the key workers see the signing of employment contracts as an reward and incentive. The contract between the employer and key workers is a fixed term contract. According to the Chinese labor contract law, if an employer and employee sign two fixed-term contracts, they can sign an open-ended contract when the contract is renewed. China Leisure's different employment responses to supply chain relocation caused a divide and rule strategy for employees. Firstly, managers have the status of formal employment protected by labor law, which requires China Leisure to deal with them legally. That's what we describe as the complying with the law. Secondly, China Leisure uses labor outsourcing to cope with changes in demand for skilled workers. When wages drop, workers look for other jobs with help from labor contractors. The China Leisure even used labor outsourcing to avoid labor unrest during supply chain relocation. The change in production seasons has made workers used to changing wages. They don't blame the employer for lower wages. Instead, workers complain about labor contractors, especially if they can't find alternative work. Furthermore, China Leisure has tried to reduce its reliance on skilled workers by using the robots in the factory. Thirdly, China Leisure doesn't need to manage general workers. They just let the market work, as we have explained above. So that means the product market leads the labor market to change without China Leisure's intervention. Finally, China Leisure can adapt to the implementation of labor law because key workers are rewarded for their work. As the supply chain is relocated, key workers have also seen their wages reduced. To make up for this, more flexible working arrangements were introduced. For example, some workers started working as couriers. Even the labor contract law restricts part-time work for full-time workers. To summarize, our study finds that supply chain relocation adversely impacts the employment relations of Chinese suppliers. Relational governance plays a crucial role in helping suppliers navigate these transitions. However, suppliers adapt in varied ways, influenced by the power disparities among their workforce. Okay.